Hi there. I'm David Lang. I'm really happy to see you. Actually, I can't see you, but you can see me. I'm very happy you can see me, but I'm even happier that soon I will be able to see you because in March I will be coming over along with some other American musicians, the Bang in a Can All Stars, So Percussion, etc. And we will be coming over to Dublin March 6th and 7th for New Music Dublin. And I'm very honored that I've been given the chance to program this year's New Music Dublin Festival. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my thinking about it because there's lots of great music in the world. And when you program a festival, a lot of times it's helpful to have an idea about how to pull things through. So I thought I would tell you about my idea. What I thought was that one of the things that New York, downtown New York, where I am right now, is famous for is that minimalism started here. So this little neighborhood that I'm in is where Philip Glass lived, Steve Reich lived, Meredith Monk still lives, Lamont Young still lives. This is where minimalism was born. And I thought, we all know all these great composers and everything that they've gone on to do. Who followed in their wake? And what have we done? And what are all the different directions that we've taken this minimalist proposal, and how have we pushed it? Especially, how have young American composers and young Irish composers pushed this in different directions? Actually, some of these composers are not so young. I'm not as young as I used to be. But that was the general idea, was to sort of look at a kind of second or even third generation minimalism as it affects our country and a couple of extra people from other English-speaking countries thrown in. I thought in order to begin this, it might be fitting to begin with an American composer who was present at the birth, but maybe not as well known as some of those other figures. One of the ways that we all learned about minimalism in America was by reading the magazine from downtown New York, which was The Village Voice. And this newspaper came out every week, and it told us, here's the new piece by the hot young composer Steve Reich that was in this, the Whitney Museum or whatever. Here's the new piece by Meredith Monk. Every week we would rush to the Village Voice and we would learn what was interesting in our field. And the music critic for the Village Voice during those years was the American composer Tom Johnson. Tom Johnson would go out to concerts all the time. He would write what he saw. And also he took some of that idea into his own work as well. And his own work is very much based on what patterns in music sound like. So a very early piece of his from that period, from the birth of minimalism, is one of my all-time favorite pieces called 9 Bells. And it's a piece where 9 bells are arranged in a grid. A percussionist is given a walking pattern, which goes through them, and a pattern of how to add and subtract striking of the bells as he walks through this field. So basically, it's a pattern. The music emerges completely from the mathematics of how this percussionist follows a pattern walking through this field of bells. But the result is mesmerizing and very, very beautiful. So I'm very happy that the festival is opening with this piece. After that, on the 6th, we have a fantastic piece by one of my Bang on a Can colleagues, Julia Wolf. And that piece is called Steel Hammer. It's a retelling of all the different versions of the John Henry story, the story of the American steel-driving man. And it's a performance with the Bang on a Can All-Stars, also with the Norwegian goddess singers, Trio Medieval, coming together. This is going to be amazing. It's a very, very beautiful piece. After this, the RTE Orchestra is playing a concert of 4 orchestra pieces. The centerpiece of this is a piece which is making a huge stir here in America right now, a piece called Become Ocean by the American composer John Luther Adams. This is the European premiere of this piece, and it's a piece that just this year won the Pulitzer Prize. So it's a tremendous coup for us that we're going to be presenting it. It's a piece which is a combination of the beauty of the ocean, the power of the ocean, and also the incredible fear of how global warming is changing the relationship between the ocean and how we live. So the piece is incredibly beautiful. As the New Yorker magazine described it in America, it's the loveliest apocalypse ever. Music is really incredibly beautiful. So the rest of the concert has pieces by two great women composers. The English composer who lives in America now, Anna Klein, has a beautiful piece called Rewind, very exciting. And the Irish composer Irene Buckley has a very gorgeous piece called Store, very atmospheric. Also on that concert is a concerto that I just wrote for the American Percussion Quartet, So Percussion, called Man Made. And the idea of this piece is that So Percussion found objects or invented instruments from outside the orchestra, and they start things. They begin by snapping twigs, for example. The orchestral percussion hears what the solo percussionists do, and they translate that into things that the orchestra instruments can play. Very exciting piece, and I'm super happy that it's going to be happening in Dublin. After that concert, the end of that evening is going to be a beautiful meditative world premiere by my other Bang on a Can colleague, Michael Gordon, a piece, an hour-long piece for the Dublin Guitar Quartet, and this is its world premiere. It's going to be spectacular. So that's the first day. The second day is we're going to bring over to Dublin something that we pioneered in New York 27 years ago at Bang on a Can. Boy, that makes me sound old. But the idea of a marathon concert. So when we started Bang on a Can, we had this idea that it would be great to play music not the way normal concerts play them. You know, one thing we didn't like about normal concerts is if you go to a concert and there are 4 things on the program or 3 things on the program, everybody gets together after the concert and agrees, oh, this piece was good, this piece was bad. They think that the point of a concert is to make a general culture where everyone agrees about what quality is or about what taste should be. We thought that was not the right way to listen to music. We thought that one of the things that's really powerful about music is that it means something to us individually. It's an individual communication from a composer to us. And so things that make it impossible for us to feel confident about our own opinions, especially if somebody else has a different opinion, we wanted to get rid of that. So we thought if we did a 12-hour concert of music, you would go out with your friends afterwards and somebody would say, I think we can all agree the best piece is this. And then you would say, actually, I didn't see that piece. You saw 6 hours and I saw 6 hours, but I wasn't there the same 6 hours as you. And my favorite was this. Or when you were there, you were listening to that piece, I had to go out and get dinner, or I was outside drinking a beer with friends, you know. Everyone then would be free to decide for himself or herself what the music meant and what their favorite thing was and what spoke to them uniquely. And we thought then we would be able to have a very wide-ranging series of experiences, and that would be good for our field. That's what we theorized, at least. So for the second day of the New Music Dublin Festival, we're going to bring this idea of the marathon. We're not going to do 12 hours, maybe next time, but this time we're going to do 8 hours, so which for us is like breakfast. You know, we can do that so easily. But 8 hours, it's a good place to start. Some of these pieces are absolute classics. So the end of the evening is an unbelievable dynamite performance coming together with the Bang on a Can All-Stars, the Crash Ensemble, and So Percussion playing Steve Reich's masterpiece, Music for 18 Musicians, which is one of the greatest pieces ever written and really a high watermark of music from any period, but also from the minimalist period. So that's going to be really amazing. We also have Bang on a Can's incredibly beautiful live music version of Brian Eno's ambient classic, Music for Airports. That's going to be amazing. The Contempo String Quartet is playing George Crumb's Black Angels, which is, you know, one of the most intense and beautiful string quartets from the post-war American period. That's going to be really great. So Percussion is playing a piece also in its Irish premiere, I believe, by Bryce Dessner, who is a classically trained musician who also went on to found the rock band The National. And this is a piece which is a 40-minute long guitar quartet. The guitars are specially built guitars that are played by percussionists. So it's an amazing piece of music, and it's going to be really fantastic. So we also have Irish composers who have been affected by this kind of descendant of minimalism kind of thought. We have music by Sean Clancy. We have music by Andrew Hamilton. We have a world premiere of a piece by Linda Buckley for the Crash Ensemble. We've got lots of great things. We have Donica Dennehy. It's going to be super, super fun. And I've been telling you all this information because I'm really excited about it, and I really hope that you will be excited about it. And most of all, I am going to be there in March. I really hope that you are going to be there, and I want you to come up and tell me what you thought. Thank you very much.